3. Okay, here we are. So we're into another football prediction. This is week 10, I think.
Week 10.
Greetings to Mike.
It's the last week before old time comes in, and perhaps will be going back.
That's right. So there'll be it'll be for us who are in Asia. So, we'll have to stay up later at night to watch the games.
We will.
Anyway, let's get straight into
our in-depth analysis.
Yes. So sorry about the time delay. That's always been a bit of a problem.
Early game, first game. Always is. So our first game is Crystal Palace are at home to Spurs. A London derby. And I'm going for the wheels to come off a little bit for Spurs because Palace are playing well. And they're a team that will be up for this derby match. They'll be in the Spurs faces. Right, I think Palace have a relatively good record in recent past in this particular derby match. I'm going for a Palace victory, 2-1 to Palace.
Okay, all right.
So let's see. That will make it interesting at the top if that comes to pass.
Yes, definitely. Palace are one of, we spoke about this before. They're a team that they'll win a game and then they'll kind of sit back, might lose a few, and then they'll come back and win again. So they had a beating. They were well beaten by Newcastle 4-0 at the weekend. So they might be anxious to get back on form here again. I see a defensive display from Roy Hodgson in this one, trying to keep they don't want to see a recurrence of the Newcastle thing here. But without Eze and Olise, who are injured, I think Palace are going to find it hard to score goals. Their form, they've 1 win in 5. They've only scored once in the last 4 games, so the goals are a problem for them. Spurs are on a roll. They'll have Bissouma back. That Italian guy on the left back, Udogie, has been a sensation since he's come in, but he might be a doubt for this one. Son is looking like a new player this season. He's been made captain. He's back on form. I just think that maybe Newcastle Palace might be hard to break down, but they won't score. I fancy maybe Spurs to win 1-0 to keep their. This won't be the one where Spurs.
Spurs victory. Okay.
I think so.
Interesting. So, going on then to Chelsea, another London team close to your heart. At home to Brentford.
Yes,
take this one away.
Okay, Chelsea will feel unlucky or aggrieved maybe that they lost or allowed Arsenal to score 2 late goals in the last game, but there have been real signs of improvement from Chelsea. I think that's mainly because of the midfield are starting to gel together. Callagher, Fernandes, and Caicedo are starting to kind of know how each other play, and also Palmer, who's come in from Man City, I think has been a great signing for them. He's that link between the midfield and the attack. And also Chelsea will be happy that Reece James was on the bench against Arsenal, so he should be due to come back. Against the Brentford team, who had a good win against the poor Burnley team last time out, it'll be good for Mbeumo to get back on the score sheet. And even Neal Maupay, a much maligned player, was unlucky not to score. He looks like a player again after his second return to Brentford, where he first made his name. But even though Brentford, I think, will huff and puff, I think Chelsea at home, I'm expecting them to win this one 2-1 to continue their form.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that there's a couple of teams who have turned it around. I won't say turned it around, but they're definitely on an upswing, and Chelsea are certainly one of them. I expect them to continue. I think Brentford, we said it at the start, Tony being out for as long as he's been out, he was going to give problem for them in scoring goals. I'm going for a Chelsea 2-0 victory here.
Okay.
Like you said, the midfield are gelling. That Mudryk or whatever his name is finally showing a bit of form. And Gini has put his arm around him, and has done well, I have to say. to try and get a bit of confidence into some of these players.
I agree.
Okay, well, I'll stay on talking with the next game. It's Arsenal at home to Sheffield United.
Mm-hmm.
You got to say, when you see a team that are bottom of the table against the team that, okay, didn't do very well against Chelsea, but had the statement victory against City before the break, you can only see one result here. It has to be an Arsenal victory at home. The question is, how many are we predicting? Of course, football is funny. You know, the just surefire 100% in the bag predictions can go out the window. But I'm going for an Arsenal 3-0 victory. It depends how quickly they get that first goal. If they get a goal early, like in the first 15 minutes, it could be a long evening for Sheffield United. And then you could be talking 5-6. Yeah. If they can get closer to halftime without conceding, then suddenly Arsenal are under pressure and it could scrape to be a 1-0. I'm hedging my bets and saying 3-0.
Okay. Yeah, this is a game.
What do you think?
Yeah, you would think Arsenal surely have to win this one. But last season, these were the games where Arsenal slipped up. Bournemouth, they conceded in the first minute against Bournemouth and had to win very late in that one. Also against Southampton, they conceded in the first minute in a game that there was a banker for them to win. So surely, for the third time, they're not going to fall for the same thing. Sheffield United obviously will sit back, low block. So it'll be a case of, can Arsenal break them down? Sheffield United have some good players. Brewster is coming from Liverpool. I like Archer. The goalkeeper Fotheringham I like. And McBurney is always a threat. There's rumours as well that Chris Wilder could be on his second comeback as manager of Sheffield United if they lose this season or lose this game. Sheffield United has only 1 point so far this season. So surely I have to say Arsenal to win. But I agree with you. I'm going to go for Arsenal to win 3-0. 3-0 on this one. Mike, what's your opinion on Raya versus Ramsdale?
Well, the fact that it is a whole Raya versus Ramsdale isn't good for either keeper. I think that if you bought in Raya, you spent big money on Raya, he is better at distribution. You got to have him as number one and just take that weight of, if I mess up, I could be dropped. These guys are, it's a high pressure position. You see Onana, everyone's laughing at Onana. Raya has made a few mistakes. There's no doubt about it. People go, oh, well, the Raya's done this. He's still the future for the Arsenal defence. And they just need to get on board and not this swapping and alternating and depending on who's on form or not on form. Keeper is too vital a position. You can do that for every other position, but not keeper.
Yeah, I agree. I think Raya is better.
For me, Raya's number one and should be number one.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to get that security.
The way Arteta wants to play from the back.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. Just one very useless stat that I want to give you for this game. This is the latest in top flight history, English Football League history, that an unbeaten team after 10 games, right? That an unbeaten team has played a winless team. Would you believe that? So Arsenal unbeaten playing a winless team. Not since 1923-24 when Cardiff drew 1-1 with Preston has this happened. Okay, let's move on quickly.
I tell you what, I'll watch it with a new eye, thanks to that salient fact.
Good.
Put a whole new perspective onto this match for me.
Well, thank you
for that.
This is why people watch this. This is why people watch these videos. Is for these insights that you don't get anywhere else.
They're not watching it to see what I'm drinking tonight.
Okay,
let's go on to Bournemouth against Burnley. You take this one away. Bournemouth and Burnley.
Yes, two very poor teams at the moment, but I just think that Bournemouth are worse. Obviously, Lewis is suspended. He was sent off in the last game. Bournemouth lost. They were a goal up against Wolves, but Wolves came back to beat them 2-1. No win this season. The manager is under great pressure, I think, if this keeps up. Burnley, their defense as well is really shocking. It's really bad. O'Shea and Al Dakil are not very good, not good enough. But up front, they have a good keeper, and up front they have a few. They like Foster, Amdoni, Colesio, Odeber. They're all quite promising players. They will score goals, which I think Bournemouth don't have at this moment. So I'm going to go for Burnley to put another nail in Bournemouth's coffin. 1-0 to Burnley.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Again, you're the Mr. Stats. I mean, I won't say how many hours I've spent researching for my data to the fans at home, but you're certainly Mr. Statistician. So I have a slightly different scoreline, only in the fact that it's I'm going for a draw, a 1-1 draw. Could easily be 0-0. I don't think this game will be the first on match of the day. Let's just say we're talking two poor teams. Wouldn't be shocked if both end up being relegated at the end of the season. And there we go. I think at home, if Bournemouth are ever going to fight for this manager, they need to start to showing some bit of a fight there now. But we'll see. I'm going for 1-1. Which, moving on to a more interesting one, is Wolves on the back of a good victory against Newcastle, who playing these Champions League matches midweek. Maybe this week is a week that might catch up on them a little bit. They had a disappointing home defeat to Dortmund, and then, you know, they're away now to Wolves. Now my geography isn't great, but I've always said is that kind of like a derby, a northern derby in a way? Is Wolves near Newcastle?
Wolves is Midlands, maybe more Midlands.
Probably more Midlands. But anyway, this is I think this is a tough match for Newcastle to get up for and be ready for and to fight for against the Wolves team that have shown a bit of promise under O'Neill, you know, and have done well. Have got some good results. Aren't they the ones that beat City? They beat City a while back.
They did.
Good comeback victory there against Bournemouth. So, I think they'll get something here. I'm going for the 1-1 draw here on this one as well. Have the squad. They don't have a squad big enough really to comfortably deal with big European nights and then going away and taking on a team that will be up for it.
Yes. Okay.
They're good enough to get a draw. They might get the victory, but I'm going for a draw.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Newcastle will be deflated after that. Dortmund kind of managed them really well in this game, so they'll be a bit deflated after that against the Wolves team, who are kind of high in energy. They've got a good team spirit, and credit to Gary O'Neill in kind of taking this Wolves team and giving them that. They've got pace, you know, Cunha and Neto. And also Chang, of course, up front is doing them, and also got Klazic, who's coming in unbeaten in 4 games. Wolves, so there's a bit of spirit there. I think they'll be up for this one. Newcastle, of course, there's no doubting their ability, but you're right. This might be a quick turnaround for them against Wolves. So I'm expecting, like you, to Wolves to get a point on this one. I'm also going for a 1-1. And another stat that 6 of the 8 games at Molineux between these two teams have finished 1-1, 6 out of 8 in the Premier League. So there's a good stat there.
Okay.
So 1-1. Put your house on it.
There we go. Okay, so you go for it. West Ham at home against Everton.
Yes, West Ham sent sort of like a second string team to Greece. They lost to Olympiacos during the week, so maybe not much to read into that. But they were literally hammers. They were hammered by Villa 4-1. That was very disappointing in them. And I think West Ham will be like that a little bit, up and down a little bit. There's no doubting that they've got players who can make a difference. Against Everton, who will be disappointed. They couldn't hold out against Liverpool in the last game, but they didn't. And they've lost the 3 points off the relegation zone, only 2 wins in 9. So they'll huff and they'll puff, but they're lacking quality, Everton. I reckon this will be kind of a dogged, sort of a dour enough all game, West Ham. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw on this one. I think maybe not the most exciting game, I think.
No, I'd agree. I mean, Everton, they've been complaining about some refereeing decisions in the game against Liverpool in the Derby match. I can feel for them. Certainly, Liverpool should have had a player sent off on the second yellow. Which Klopp then quick, you know that when that the referee messed up when the manager is hauling off the guys quick pronto, subbing him up before he does get sent off because it was a bad mistake by the referee. But notwithstanding, Everton, I agree with you. There's just not a lot. There's not a heck of a lot of quality there. They have guys back from injury. You know, you were seeing that Lewis is a double-barreled name.
Yes.
Forward, he's not injured at the moment. And Harrison has done well since he's come in. The guy they got from Leeds.
That's right.
However, West Ham, smart after Villa at home. I'm expecting the likes of McGinn and Co to up their performance and give a 2-0 victory to the Hammers here.
Okay. Very
Moving
good.
on to probably the form team at the moment, Aston Villa at home against another relegation fodder, Luton. So a bit like Arsenal, Sheffield United, it's impossible not to go for a Villa victory because I just haven't seen enough quality from Luton. I would say Villa are probably the form team in the league at the moment.
Yeah.
Watkins, Louise, they're all on fire at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm predicting a 3-0 victory for Villa on this one. A nice, easy day at the office for them.
Okay.
Maybe Luton will prove me wrong, but I haven't seen the quality there to convince me otherwise.
Yeah. Luton, they'll be buoyed by they scored 2 late goals to draw at Forest in the last game, so that will give them a little bit of a spirit. But they are lacking quality for the Premier League. It's the spirit really that never say die attitude that maybe they will get more points than maybe in 3 other teams if they're lucky just to kind of stay up. But they'll need that spirit because if they have any hope of staying up at all. They've no clean sheet so far this season. They've conceded 17 and up against a rampant Villa, like you said, who blew away Alkmaar at the week, blew away West Ham. They're on 11 straight home wins. Their record is 13 from 1983 after they won the European Cup back then. And they're looking good. Watkins, Diaby, as you said, Bailey, Louise has got more license to go forward. They are weak. I think there might be some weaknesses in their defense, but I think Luton may not be the ones to exploit that. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-0 win here for Villa.
Okay, sticking with you, may as well stay on and talk about Brighton at home to Fulham.
Yeah, Brighton had a very comfortable win at home against Ajax. And what was good to see is that Fati, who scored against Man City, even though they lost last week, scored again against Ajax. So he's one player, obviously had great potential before some injuries. So if he can get back to any kind of way he was like at Barcelona when he first came on the scene, they've got a gem there to go in with all the other players they have. But one thing, Brighton have conceded the most goals outside of the relegation zone this season, 18. And their defense, I mean, Dunk is great, but March is out now injured. Milner is not in his prime. There's another guy back there who's not maybe the well-established. So I think Brighton are weak. They have a weakness in defense. That's why they're conceding so many, but they hope to outscore teams. Fulham, William, has looked good. Palinia is good in midfield, but they're struggling for goals and they're missing Mitrovic. They just can't seem to get enough goals. And I think that might come against them against Brighton. I think will be buoyed by the success midweek. I'm going to go for Brighton to win. Even though it's a quick turnaround for them, I'm going to go for them to win 2-1 on this one.
Okay. I agree. I mean, Brighton, as I say, especially teams that hold back and do on the counter, their defence really gets shown up. However, I don't see Fulham having the quality to do rapid counter attacks against them, and certainly no finishers. kind of not overly impressed with Ferguson's yet this season. I think that he got one hat trick and everyone, oh, this guy is going to blaze come blazing through the season. Hasn't really got going for him. He's like Welbeck. If Welbeck is fit, he probably starts Welbeck. That being said, there's quality through that midfield and from an attacking perspective. So I'm going to go as well for a Brighton victory. 2-0 I'm going for, because I just Fulham, I don't see where their goals are coming from.
Yeah, just a point there, Mike.
Okay,
just a point.
Moving on to another.
I think I heard that Welbeck will be out, so Ferguson may get that start. And it's interesting, all right, what you were saying, that he hasn't been playing at the start. He's been kind of coming on as a sub, which is kind of interesting. He's not being kind of given, Ferguson hasn't been given the playing time. So he might get his opportunity today. We'll see.
No. We'll see. Okay, interesting. I might make him my captain in fantasy football, so in a game like that. Liverpool at home to Nottingham Forest. So, Forest, the opposite of Luton, will be disappointed that they conceded 2 late goals last week. Liverpool, by not playing great football, but still within touch and distance of the leaders, which is not where they were last year. So it's very encouraging from a Liverpool perspective. Probably the performances have been. And looking at the next few matches, Liverpool have on paper matches that you'd expect them to win. Now they've just played again in Europe, had a handy victory, and this game will be a bit later. So at home, with the forward options they have, and that's really the key for Liverpool, is that they have so many attacking players that they can rotate. I think they'll have too much for a Forest team. I still don't think they'll keep a clean sheet, because defensively we don't have lots of options and we have obvious weaknesses there. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 Liverpool victory.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I think it's true what you said. Yeah, I think it's true what you said. Liverpool look on fire going forward. And when Salah's on form, as he is now, you can take it as a Liverpool win. Then behind that, you've got Szoboszlai, the Hungarian guy. He's created the most chances for Liverpool, 21. So he's really hit the ground running. Liverpool have only lost 1 home game out of 46 Premier League games. So I don't think Forest are going to be the ones to beat them on this one. Chris Wood comes in for the injured Awani. I don't think he'll be fit. Awani will be fit to come back for this one, so Wood may have to lead the line again. Wood, he's a journeyman, but he needs like maybe about 3 or 4 chances to score 1. So Forest away at Anfield, I can't see anything but a comfortable Liverpool 3-0 home win on this one.
Oh, yeah. And you'll get the Manchester derby. We'll hear from you first.
Yeah,
probably the big game is the last game of the week.
Well, it's the big game just because of history. I don't think it's the biggest game on current form at all. United struggled against Copenhagen to win. They struggled against Sheffield United. They struggled against Brentford. They're struggling, and they're coming on an informed Man City team. Much will be made about this is a derby. It's at Old Trafford. Bobby Charlton dying. There'll be like a sort of a special feeling or a motivation for this one. But I think Man United don't have the players to actually harness that, to use that. So I'm expecting Man City to have a comfortable 3-1 win here against a very poor Man United team.
Can't argue with you. As you say, there's been a couple of great results for them, not great performances. The 2 late McTominay goals, they turn it around. Kind of, you have Maguire actually getting the man of the match performance and then scoring a winner against Copenhagen, and you're going, oh, it's kind of. He's turned it around, and it's the story of we're going to, but these guys aren't good enough. City have had a couple of scratchy results. A lot of it down to Rodri being suspended, as we said,
Yeah.
when they were missing him in midfield. I also have 3-1 for City. I think that, yeah, there is going to be a great atmosphere, obviously with Bobby Charlton and etc. Passing away, and it'll be an emotional occasion. City will just do what they do best. They'll keep possession, they'll create chances, and they'll score goals.
Yeah.
I give United 1 goal.
Yeah. So we agree on that one.
I'll keep it. I think this is one of our where we've had so many of exact predictions in terms of some of our scorelines. We've about 3 that we've picked the exact same scoreline. So we'll see how we get on.
Yes, we'll see if it's
that's it, anyway, guys.
No worry, yeah, that's it. So enjoy the football. It starts tonight, right? I got a Friday night game tonight. So that's Spurs against Palaces tonight.
Okay.
So enjoy the football, and we'll see you all hopefully next week. Okay. All right. So let me just stop.
Adios. Bye for now. Ni hao.
Stop video. Okay. No. Where's stop record? 1 second, Mike. See if I can. Oh, here we are.